Okay, welcome back to the bench. This is the meter repair section of the Heathkit VTVM, following the radio mechanics guidelines on how to balance your meter movement. Kind of like brain surgery, that's what it takes. You got to get in there really tight with little toothpicks, and so you'll see it as we go. I'll show you every step of the way, and then I'll show you the outcome. So let's get to it, and let's get this meter fixed on the Heathkit VTVM. Alrighty. Okay, first thing I'm going to do in an attempt to repair this, I'm going to unplug it so I don't electrocute myself. This white dial face has to come off. Okay, this is actually a part 2, and I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but I want to get in and see what the counterweights look like. Are they completely gone, or do I just have to rebalance it? Okay, so this is work for a young person with steady hands. My hands shake a lot at my age, but what the hell? Now's the time to see what I can do. I don't know if you guys can see me or not. I'll try to bring it around. Okay. All right, just slide this out. Wow. So Heathkit has, let's see, where's a good pointer here? Heathkit has a line right here on this clear plate. You can see it's just not a good thing to use. Give me something that's not magnetic. Okay, they have a clear line that this has to be balanced to in all aspects of the meter. So I'll tell you, what he said was you bring remember the radio mechanic, I'm not going to do anything until I actually take this meter out of the case. I just wanted to see where I'm at here. Can you guys see me there? Let me check the camera. Yeah, you guys can see. All right. You can see the weights. Doesn't take much for this thing to, and static will adjust it as well. The weights are all there. I'm going to need to, it's going to take a lot of repositioning. The weights are on all of them. Do it vertical. First thing you have to do is you have to, according to the radio mechanic, is this has to be horizontal. This line has to be horizontal. So your weight back here has to be adjusted to bring this up to here. That's the first step. All right, guys, let me proceed with taking this apart. I'll put the cover back on the meter movement so I don't damage it. But yeah, It looks like all my weights are there. Why they're out of balance, I don't know. I don't know if you can see how good you can see this, but let me bring it down in there. So the weight doesn't focus all that well. But this bottom weight has to be adjusted. All right. Let me work on that, and we'll see how it goes as we move forward. Okay. So to get the meter out of this Heathkit VTVM, obviously you can see I really had to break it down to get it out. It's a crazy way they built it, but hey, it was built strong. I just had to work at it to get it out. It wasn't easy. There was a lot of your meter itself has 4 mounting, and 2 of those mounting bolts hold the bracket in place, which holds everything else in place. So it took a little bit to get it out. Now, interesting, obviously I got the meter, obviously you can't see it. I got the meter out, okay? I took the meter face off, all right? And I was trying to work with this. You can see I got some wires hooked up to it. Here's the interesting thing. The meter looked like it was constantly getting stuck. Okay, let's get you in here a little bit better. Okay. Looked like it was getting stuck. Couldn't figure out what was going on. And all of a sudden I realized that this plastic case, this whole thing is plastic, was building up a static charge and affecting the meter. I tried using a dryer sheet to get out static. That didn't work. But what I did was I attached a long jumper lead to the outlet box, and that drained off the static charge. So I figure that's what I'm going to be doing to continually work on this. Now, it's hard to see. I'm doing this a little bit different tonight, guys. I'm actually behind the camera so I can see what I'm doing, or you could see what I'm doing. I'll take this cover off in a minute. There's a line in the plastic on the back, okay? That's where this needle is supposed to be laying, okay, and it's not. Again, I referred to the video from the radio mechanic who did an RCA senior voltomist, and he fixed the meter movement, and that's what he had to do. See that movement, let me back up a little bit here. That changes constantly. Look at that. It's supposed to be on this line over here. And every time I move it, it's moving around. So with that, let me take the cover off of this. You're supposed to be able to adjust that with a screwdriver right here, okay? It's a little cam, little pointer with a cam, and as you turn it, it'll move the meter movement back and forth. But unfortunately, this wasn't happening. So what do we have to do? Get a little bit more light maybe, I don't know. I don't know if this is good, bad, indifferent. Hopefully a better light. Now again, remember I told you this needle is actually across. I don't know how close I can get. It's kind of hard to see. I'll draw it out for you again on paper. But when this meter is on a 45-degree angle, in other words, this line, which you can't see, just barely see it, okay? When that's horizontal to the desk, that needle is supposed to automatically just lay at that point. And it's not doing it. I'm definitely not going to use this 2x4 here to get in here and do this work. But I need to take small drops of adhesive. He said to use RTV. I'm actually going to be using E6000. It's a good stuff. It dries pretty good, and it'll add weight to that balance. So you know, if you add weight to one side, it's going to pull up the other side. So that's what I need to do with this needle. So I'm going to have to put it in a clamp. Without breaking the plastic. It's not like I can contact Heathkit, get another meter. Come on, baby. Okay. All right. Again, yes, this could be moved so that it works, but that's not, this has to be perpendicular to the base, okay? Weight has to be added to that spring. God, I don't know if you could see it. Let's see. I don't know if you can see it or not. Need something small to point with. Right in there, I have to start adding little drops of adhesive to give it enough weight so that it balances and brings this up to here and rests on that line by itself. All right. I'm not going to be able to do this in back of the camera. I'm going to have to do it and then turn you guys back on. Turn you on, yeah. Turn the camera back on so you can see the outcome. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, this is after my first application here. It's only been a couple minutes since I changed you guys. And again, the line, oh man, it's really hard to see. I have a hard time seeing it. And I don't want to put anything on the glass because I don't want to, you can see it, just getting this by it moves it. This needle was way down here before. I now have it at least within, I would say that this is harder working behind the camera. Let me just drop this down and look in straight through the camera. That's as low as it will go. Get in there a little bit better. Sorry for the shaky here. I want to make sure you guys can see. You see the line? Okay. Again, before the needle was way down here. So now I have to wait for that drop that I put in here, which I have serious doubts that you can see, unless you can zoom out. You can see the like crystal-y dot that's right in here. And I give that a chance to dry. This is not going to be a one shot and done. Obviously, it's going to going to take a little bit to get it all in and get it in place. So I want to make sure that's still horizontal. Okay. Yeah. I got about a ½ an inch to go. Probably another drop, but again, those are 2 small drops I put on there. And I'm going to have to get a couple more in there as well. So, all right. Then once this side is done and I have this aligned here, then I need to make this vertical to the desk and make sure that it stays in place. If it's one side or the other, then I have to add to either one side or the other for weight, the counterweights. Okay, so I'm going to go over this process again. Obviously, this is the meter face. Okay, that's where your pivot point is. And again, I will, usually with cheaper meters, but for some reason this one was sticking, there's a little screw here. There's also a little screw on the back side of the meter. And in those two, there are little pivot points inside there that allow it to swing free. If there's any warping in the plastic whatsoever, it starts to bind. So what you have to do is you take a little tiny drop of acetone and you put it right on that screw. And what it does is it dissolves the glue that's in there. It allows you to make your adjustment until the needle is free, and you just let it go. The acetone will evaporate, the glue rehardens, and you're good to go. Okay, so our problem, I had that earlier, I took care of that. Our problem is the needle, like I said. So what I did was, just now, I put a couple little drops of glue on this end and it brought it up. Now, I'm gonna have to put another couple drops, okay, to get it to complete, okay? Now, this is the line that's in the plastic. This is the needle, okay? The line in the plastic. Again, this was horizontal. This line was horizontal to the table, okay? I bring it up to this point. Now, I bring that point perpendicular to the table, and the needle should rest here. If the needle stays too much this way, I got to put a couple drops here. If it goes this way, I need to put some over here to bring it down, okay? That's the process I'm going through. You can't just glob this on. This process, you know, I've taken IF cans apart, I've done the silver mica disease. I consider that heart surgery. This, to me, is brain surgery. It's very easy to mess this meter up, so it's going to take some time. But this is the process I'm going through. You can see it moved already a little bit. I'm going to have to go forward. Now, for whatever reason, if this doesn't work, you guys will know, because I'm not going to cut anything out of here. But this is the process. That's the ultimate goal, is to get that needle so that no matter how you put the meter, if you have it upright, if you have it laying down, whatever, that needle is going to stay pretty much in that spot, maybe a little bit off, and then you could just adjust it with the screw. But the way it was, there was no adjustment on the front of the case because of the balance. What made the balance go? I don't know. The weights are all there. In the radio mechanics instance, weights fell off and he lost the weights. Here the weights are wrong. Why did this happen? I have no idea. But again, I need to balance it. Maybe it wasn't right from the factory. Who knows? So we're getting there. Okay, if you look at that, if you look at it straight in, that's about as close as I'm going to come. Like I said, this is like brain surgery. Where's my pointer here? You damage this movement, and you might as well just throw the whole meter away, the whole instrument away, and start all over again with another one. Because this is very delicate in here. God forbid, man. I never wanted to, I don't know how they did this in the factory. I would love to see a video on it, on how they did these meters, but that's it in that direction. So let's see where we're at. I'm going to do this real time if I don't knock the camera over. If I stand this up, it looks like I need weight on this side to balance it back down. All right, that's my next trick. Putting a little weight on this part of the cross over here because it's going in that direction. It's to the right of the line. I'm gonna break something here. It's to the right of the line. You see the line. So we need to bring it back to here. It's just gonna take a little bit of weight over here. Okay, I actually have the meter zeroed with the mechanical. It's not perfect. I don't know if I can correct it any more than what I did. The reason being, and I'm gonna try to explain this. Attached to this cross, the meter pointer, okay, there's a spring coil, okay? I think over time, somebody had that adjustment. That adjustment comes down. Yeah, there's a bar. Instead of having that bar like this, okay, not going to go up with the slot in it, okay, this bar had been forced way over here in order to zero the meter. And I think over time that spring has weakened. Obviously you can see that I have it in. Now with a VTVM, chances are I'm not going to be using the meter on its side. You know, you can't see it. Hold on. I don't think I'm going to be using it on its side. That's not the way you use a VTVM. It's usually in this position. Kind of stays in that position. It's very close. So I think I'm all right with it. Again, it's not perfect. But there's no way of doing anything with this spring. So that's it. The next step is I'm going to post this video, and the next part will be hold on, I can't, why isn't this turning? The next part will be putting everything back together. Again, I have to put the 10K pot in there because that 50K pot just isn't right and it's not zeroing out properly. So I'm going to change that. I've got that 1600 volt capacitor that's got to be changed, and I have to build the circuit for the meter. So that's it, guys. We'll see you on the next go around. Again, if you know the old story. Where the heck is it? Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Like I said, I do answer my people that leave comments for me. So, again, thanks for dropping by. Repair of the Heathkit meter, not 100%, but usable. Substantially better than what it was. Take care and have a good night.